The Paper Mario franchise, the only Nintendo series where half the player base hates most of its games. Now I've taken a look at all these other ones in the past, and so far, the games fucking suck. Obviously that's not entirely true. Get the hell out. God, I need therapy. With the first two games getting the highest praise consistently for its really satisfying turn-based combat and its interesting stories, the series was clearly looking up, until we must have hit a 16-card pileup and they released one of the worst games ever. The modern era of Paper Mario consists of games that say they're RPGs, and nothing more than that. I take turns to fight, so I must be an RPG. Paper Mario the Origamiking is the most recent new kid on the block. That's right, I'm not counting Grandpa over there. You're a remake, not a new game. From the reveal to release of this game was incredibly weird. Since this was during the weird time of the pandemic, Nintendo wasn't having any directs or even talking about new games. They were doing the unthinkable. They were shadow dropping reveal trailers on Twitter, social media. When I first saw the trailer for this game, I thought it looked absolutely gorgeous. The art style, the music, everything looked and sounded just perfect. Twitter's media player didn't think so. I didn't pay much attention to the actual gameplay. I just assumed it was the Thousand Year Doors combat again. Me from 5 years ago wasn't exactly the brightest. I spent most of my time playing Fortnite. Can you blame me for being dumb? I didn't see much marketing for this game till I got it in my hands. A day after release. I fucking hate Amazon. As someone who's notoriously known for being a fan of the Paper Mario franchise, that's right, I play TTYD and own a stomach ulcer. I bought this game in 2020 and didn't play it. I was too busy trying to figure out where the Ginza line was in Persona 5, or riding the escalator. That really drove up my hours played on the game. I promise. Eventually, I did get around to playing this game 3 years later, and I actually liked it. I really liked it. So much so that I couldn't help but constantly talk to my friends about it. They didn't seem to know what I was talking about, or even know who I was. It's now been 2 years since then, and my breaking and entering charge is looking a little dusty, so I think it's time I revisit this ancient video game from a forgotten era, and figure out once and for all if Paper Mario the Origamiking is truly the best modern game in the series. Booting up the game and, oh, I can't even start a new game. This is already boggling my mind. I can't even delete my save data if I wanted to. Well, there's only one thing I can do. F it. I think an Apple profile picture would be pretty good. 10-letter name. I went with iPhone 3GS. No reason. Just kind of felt like it. If you couldn't tell, I'm really big into Apple products. The game begins as all things do. Naturally. Mario and Luigi are on their way to Toad Town to experience the fabled Origami Festival. These guys are already paper, so wouldn't this practically be murder? You see, the Mario franchise doesn't obey the law of the Gregorian calendar. They use these things called shapes and letters. Good thing I studied 4th grade math. I wouldn't know what these things were otherwise. Toad Town just so happens to be deserted upon their arrival. Good. Too many bland toads in these games. After making their way to Peach's castle, Luigi's not only gone to look for a key, but this weird creased up hag walks out claiming to be Princess Peach. And what of those toads? Shouldn't they be silenced for all of eternity? Why bother asking me that question when you already know the answer, lady? She's gonna kill me because I'm thin? My body, my choice, princess. Did anyone know Peach's castle had an entire underground dungeon attached to it? What are they doing here? Torturing Oh, yeah, that's fine. Whatever. We immediately get introduced to this game's gimmick in record time. This is the only instance where Mario was able to use this purely without the aid of the new character. Olivia is hidden inside these walls, but she's not hiding in Mario's pocket yet, so this will be the one occurrence of this actually happening. Bowser isn't the villain in this game? Well, it's about damn time. Fighting this guy as a final boss gets old pretty quick. Upon exiting the dungeon, the main antagonist reveals himself as King Ollie, or Olivia's brother. This guy just hates everyone who isn't origami for the sake of it. One could argue he's also a racist, but let's not talk about that side of him. He wants to turn the entire world into an origami kingdom. Wait a moment, guys? Alright, so there's some actual stakes here. It's not just, Bowser up to his no-good shenanigans again. We not only get introduced to the battle system, but a bunch of different colored streamers wrap themselves around the castle, lifting it up onto a volcano. And we get sent flying, just like old times. Not Bowser though, this guy is royalty. Alright, so battling in Paper Mario is usually a highlight for players. These two games had an actual battle system worth a damn. Fun encounters, a badge system used to expand Mario's moveset, partners, EXP, dare I say more? With the series' huge direction change with the release of Super Paper Mario and its action-based combat, it made these games seem less like they were only supposed to be turn-based RPGs. They could be action ones too. Once you reach the modern era, i.e. The Rapture, things get really interesting. Sticker Star had a terrible and worthless battle system plagued by one-use combat stickers, things, and a Resident Evil inventory system. Color Splash takes the exact same system, removes the inventory sorting, and adds these hammer droppings that kinda act like EXP. Battling was still worthless as it didn't make you any stronger, and worst of all, it's not even the slightest bit fun. What would you rather do here? Battle and earn basically nothing, or run away? The answer is clear, my friend. Sensual Plunger. After going through every single one of these games, and analyzing the battle systems to death, they finally learned something. Kinda. It's nothing too groundbreaking, but it's a step in the right direction. Let me introduce you to the Puzzle Circle. I don't actually know what it's called, so I'm trademarking this. If anyone uses this, you'll be hearing from my lawyer. The goal of each fight is to line up each enemy in specific positions to gain an edge up in battle. You do this by rotating or sliding the circles around. It's too bad there's a fucking time limit. I'm just gonna say, this is a really awful decision. I know the system is based around solving the puzzle as fast as possible, but I'm slow, and a kid's game can be way too much for me to handle mentally. Luckily, however, there's an accessory to increase the timer. It's a literal band-aid solution, but okay. You can also use coins to increase your timer too. I found myself using way too many coins here. I'm trying to think, but oh no, the clock almost strikes 0. Sometimes I just get the toads to help me. I was too busy playing Deal or No Deal. Accessories make their grand debut here as mere upgrades. That's okay, I guess. I would much rather have benefits and drawbacks to using some of these over a straight HP or guard defense increase. If I can increase my attack, I want to take more damage. I have a simple mind. Changing Mario's sounds to be more retro is a nice touch. Don't know why they chose the Donkey Kong walking sound, but then went for the Mario Brothers jumping sound. They even give you partners that show up in battle occasionally depending on story progression. Are they good? If by good you mean lame, then yes, of course. They are so close to just having multiple people attack in battle, but your partner basically flips a coin if they want to help or not. Ooh, a standard hammer and boots action? Items? What's the catch? I'll let you in on a little something. Battling doesn't matter in this game. They somehow made it worse than Color Splash. That game, as dumb of an incentive as it was, gave you the equivalent of EXP. This game just gives you coins and these little things of confetti, which I'll talk about in due time. They put actual effort here. I spent so much time battling for the fun of the game. It interests me so much, but it's so hard to defend when you get nothing out of it. You can even buy better boots and hammers that have multiple uses. The fact these breaks still annoy me, but it's not that big of a deal due to how many of these you'll find and how long they actually last. It's kinda like the badge system in a way, just really shitty and stripped down. You can only have so many of them equipped, and the durability kinda makes you want to save the really good ones for a boss fight or something. The coin economy may be fucked in this game, but with a will, there's a way. You don't need to battle to gain coins to buy things. Exploring will get you far enough. All of this effort is put into a system that just allows you to flee the battle and the enemy disappears. There's no encouragement to fight. That's all I have to say about this battle system. It's fun, but there's literally nothing you can say to defend it at all. After going through a huge section where we save a tree, man, do I want to fuck this tree. Nintendo is the only company that has made me want to have sex with a piece of wood. We will eventually arrive at this game's hub world known only to us mortals as Toad Town. You know, Toad Town, not Toad Town. Toad Town. A huge expansive area with tons of collectibles, a shop, a museum, port, Luigi stuck in a wall, everything. While he's out trying to grab keys to help invade Peach's castle, let's talk about the hub. Because of how beautiful this game looks, it lends itself to making even the blandest environments look absolutely stunning. Peeling the coat of paint off, and Toad Town isn't very interesting. It is big, but there's no real reason to go to half the places. The Toad Town in Paper Mario 64, on the other hand, has all these separate sections with different things to do in them. It forces you to explore everything while you're going out of your way to cook something or grab the mail for a side quest. Even fighting the dojo master isn't all in one area. Legitimately, if they were to remove half the town, I wouldn't notice. You don't need it anyways. It's kinda weird to have two different shops for items and accessories. These guys don't have enough variety to warrant something like that. The battle lab is just for practicing action commands and refighting the various boss battles. Each boss fight can take forever, so no, I didn't complete all of it. The museum is probably the best part of this place. I love looking at all the concept art, listening to the soundtrack, and even fast traveling to the various places on the map. Personally, I think it would have been better if they used more of the actual town and had a spot for the fast travel pipes instead of just in the museum for some reason. Port Prisma is still a better looking hub area, but Toad Town is a close second. Decalburg can go outside where the actual game resides. Video games are often known for having multiple different design philosophies to immerse the player in its own world. Whether it's an open area design like Simpsons Hit and Run, or the linear level design like a 2D Mario, developers will do whatever they can to immerse the player in its world. Paper Mario, on the other hand, has kinda struggled with the design of its environments over the years. Paper Mario 64 and TTYD don't have the most involved environments in the world, but I can say one thing, they're both interconnected. One of the biggest issues for me with Sticker Star and Color Splash was the use of a stupid fucking world map. I never outright said it, but this here is what I like to call the spawn of Satan. Everything was just jumbled together. You never walked to where you wanted to go through gameplay. It was incredibly annoying. What if we took the interconnectedness and twists and turns of Paper Mario 64 and evolved it into something absolutely incredible? I give you the world of Paper Mario the Origamiking. One of the most beautiful environments ever crafted in any Nintendo game. You've got Picnic Road, Autumn Mountain, Scorching Sandpaper Desert, Shroom City at both day and night. This fucking place, a huge spa in the sky. And the best part about all of this is how you can just walk to all of these places by exploring. No world map, it's all in gameplay. I need a new proper RPG Paper Mario game with this type of level design. It is perfection. Oh, and the paper aesthetic looks so good here. There's nothing better than seeing a piece of paper, am I right? Holy shit. I love Shogun Studios. It has so many amazing minigames, fun level design, and even weird little Easter eggs. The closest to this is probably Shroom City due to its amazing atmosphere. Something about it just makes me want to go waste hundreds of dollars and gamble. Sometimes you'll see these little panels where you can use this game's gimmick. You don't use it very often while exploring, but at least it's not annoying like the paper eyes or cutout abilities. It's just for little things, and the game even tells you outright so you won't be left spamming Y constantly. What is this? A crumpled up toad? Oh dear lord, not again. No. Not the fucking toads, no! Color Splash has scarred me for life at this point. I've even begun collecting different types of cups. I think that's a different type of issue, but that's besides the point. What if they did that again, but like 4.53 times the amount? Yeah, that's right, I did the calculations. We're fucked. There are a total of 416 bland toads to collect in this game. Some have funny dialogue, but nothing holds a candle to the writing of the previous game. Do they do anything here? Well, they sit inside these stands while you battle. So they basically do absolutely nothing if you don't use the cheer button. That's good, because I really need to finish fucking my wife. They give me 30 seconds for a reason. Couple the toads with a bunch of 3D models you can collect, and a bunch of holes you can fill with the confetti bag, and you have a recipe for an easy 100% as long as you have 50 hours of free time to burn. The game gives you the tools to make it easy. You can use these bells to tell you when you're near a toad, hidden block, or treasure chest. Holes don't really need one since it's huge and black. You can also stop at the various different coffee shops and... wait a minute, forget what you do here. Oh yeah, you have coffee. It's actually a great time waster. The little interactions between Bowser's minions is very charming. I don't drink coffee in real life, so doing it virtually is the next best thing. Sometimes, dreams can come true. Remember in the Wind Waker when you sailed across the Great Sea, explored various islands, and collected treasure? Throw that piece of shit away. Paper Mario has all your bases covered. You don't need other games. The Great Sea is a very interesting area of this game. They give you a huge body of water to roam around in, and only 12 areas to explore. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking here. If they wanted to combat Zelda, at least put an island in every square, even if it's small. It's the little things that matter the most in life. I really do love exploring, but it just feels like there's nothing really to do here. I can grab treasure from the ocean floor and beat up a million paper mache enemies for a good 30,000 coins. That's really about it. They do reference things, so all must be forgiven. Shy Guys Finish Last is my kind of game. I'm big into Jeopardy, so I'll be a natural here. The game is split into 4 categories. Circle Swarm, organize the image. Crawl in position, memorize the places of the contestants. Ninja skills, remember the boxes the ninjas are in. And Hot Tub Computation. Keep your eyes on how many Goombas are in the tub at all times. Or look away for a second and go save a video clip just to count them all. Definitely the best variation of the game shows these games have had so far. I've always dreamed of being on a game show, so I can kinda sorta enjoy this for what it is. One thing I absolutely love about this game is the ability to increase your HP by your own volition. Yep, they took the only good part of this piece of art and made it even better here. As you explore and gather more toads, or push tiny baby-sized coffins, you'll discover several pieces of heart that increase your overall damage output the more you have. It doesn't increase every single time, but after a certain threshold, Olivia will appear out of nowhere and let you know. Jesus, it scared the hell out of me. As much as I'd like to increase my HP or damage depending on the enemy, this is a pretty good alternative. During your exploration, you'll often run into several of these differently colored magic circles with various animals on them. These are dubbed as the Vellumentals, the gods of the Paper Mario franchise. Each of them have their own huge dungeons with their own little puzzles that represent each of their respective elements. The boss fights against them are itself a puzzle, and it's really cool. You get these arrows that you need to arrange in order to make your way to an action circle near the boss. Sometimes you'll have these little on switches that you can run over to activate the 1000-fold armor switches and other Vellumentals. Unlike Color Splash and sorta Sticker Star, you don't need a specific item to beat the boss. Just get the arrows to lead you to wherever you want to go on the board. There's always a gimmick with these fights, so they have these little hint letters to give you an idea if you don't know what to do. If they're going to have puzzles involved for the bosses, this is the way to do it. Don't force the player to play a specific way. You can encourage it if you want, but forcing stifles creativity. If I were to pick one of these fights to be my favorite, it'd probably be against the Ice Vellumental. I absolutely love the design of this guy, and the Ice Maze move he does. You can either memorize the path to take, or take out your phone and memorize it. As much as I love these fights, I think the only issue with these is that they don't really have any replay value. Once you've played this game, you already know what to do when going into it. Unless you haven't touched it in a long time, then you're exactly like I was. Partial memories are all I have to go off of. Once you defeat one of these guys, Olivia will read one of 4 Bibles and do a Sailor Moon-esque transformation into the boss. Something I desperately need to talk about is how much better this game runs on the Switch 2. When I played the game originally, I remember the game absolutely chugging whenever Olivia would do a move as a Vellumental. It's really nice to finally play this game the way it was meant to be enjoyed. Each chapter in this game is based on one objective: destroy each streamer. The streamers take Mario all over the Mushroom Kingdom. When I say all over, trust me, I mean all over. I absolutely love how they brought back the idea of each one telling its own sub-story among the greater one. Shangri Spa was such a cool location to visit, especially with Gimmick as a partner. All the different spas you visit, Olivia singing, it's all really fantastic. Oh, that score. That score of my comfort character. My favorite chapter just so happens to be chapter 2. For only a few specific reasons. It's in this chapter where you meet the one and only Bobby, a generic bob-omb with amnesia. I swear to God, giving a character amnesia is like the easy way out. Anyways, his whole shtick is about wanting to go on a huge trip to try and find out who he is. Olivia, being an outspoken person, encourages him to travel with her and Mario. As the chapter continues, you find out more about Bobby. He's a very kind person who values his friends more than anything. After the whole spiel in Shogun Studios, the explosions from the celebratory fireworks triggered something in him, giving him all his memories back. I do kinda think it should have been a story that lasted more than just one chapter. Bobby makes up a lot of why people love this game so much. I'm happy they didn't drag it on for too long, so the player would still care about him. After the chapter ends, you head on your way towards the yellow streamer. Upon arriving there, Ollie shows up and crushes Olivia with a boulder, attempting to kill her. Bobby, seeing this, realizes what he must do. So the two of them head to Peach's cruise ship in the middle of the fucking ocean. Where'd you get a cruise ship from? They go to find a fuse. Bobby lost his in an incident on that very ship. The fuse he uses here is one from his friend who disappeared. He kept it in a safe so he could cherish it for as long as he lives. In order to save Olivia, he sacrifices himself and blows up the boulder. The loss of Bobby devastates Olivia, but through the help of Mario, she realizes that he wouldn't want her to waste away and tries her best to keep on going. Whoever says Bobby would be better if he had an actual design doesn't understand the point of his character. He's supposed to be a generic bob-omb. He has grown so much throughout his time on the planet, made so many good friends and memories. All he wants to do is make an impact that'll help others. This is actually the one time where I'm going to say that I'm happy they gave such a generic character an amazing story. He's made such an impact on Olivia that near the end of the game, when she sees a bunch of bob-ombs, she gets incredibly confused and thinks she's seeing things. Olivia as a whole is such an amazing character. I love how she's such a kind and cheerful person who just wants to help others as much as she possibly can. You do get to learn more about her and her brother when you visit their creator's home in the Great Sea. Ollie was filled with so much malice that he took it upon himself to throw a guy in a wall. What's with this game and throwing people in walls? Olivia was actually folded by Ollie in an attempt to have her take over the world with him. Of course, that didn't work out so well. When you leave, the guy gives Olivia something that will come in handy at the very end of the game. If you were to put a gun to my head and tell me to say these characters suck, please just blow my brains out. Alright, let's get these bosses out of the way. Paper Mario usually has some incredible final boss fights. Smorg, Grotus, General Guy, huge f***ing cloud, dating sim. What if I told you we were playing with office supplies? Take your nearest pen and paper and boom, gone. I've already explained how boss fights work. Arrange the arrows, cripple a stapler, and you're done. Every streamer has been destroyed. As much as people don't like fighting these things, I don't really mind. They can't just make these guys paper, or that would defeat the whole purpose of the game. If they were to do anything, I'd say they could have made them origami, or at least given them faces. I love rubber bands as much as the next guy, but come on, where's your fucking mouth? Talk! At least they gave them really funny personalities. The gangster stereotype never gets old. I think the pair of scissors is my favorite boss in the entire game. This guy handicaps himself for either half the fight or the beginning, depending on whether you break the sheath or not. This guy has a one-shot move that you can dodge by timing the input correctly, and it's very engaging. They do also have some papier-mâché boss fights that are more action-based. I prefer the puzzle-based ones more, as these are just bigger versions of standard enemies. Upon finally arriving at Peach's castle, Luigi comes in clutch with the key to the castle stuck in his exhaust pipe. Get your mind out of the gutter, this is a Mario game. King Ollie transforms the entire castle into his very own, made entirely of origami. I love this area so much. Is it hard? No, not at all. The hardest part though is coming to terms with the fact that falling off the path does 100 damage. If you want to know something this game does well, it's the music. It is incredible. One of the best soundtracks in any Nintendo game. The music that plays in this area specifically is no different. It's such an incredible piece of art. After once again crippling a stapler, we meet up with King Ollie. This guy is in a room filled with 999 folded origami cranes. Apparently, if you're patient enough to fold 1,000, your wishes will be granted. Well, sign me up! Don't worry about the fact that Princess Peach is hanging up on his wall. He just killed someone. This game is E-rated. This guy's whole reason for wanting to rule the world is solely because his creator wrote on him. Prejudice comes in many forms, I guess. The boss against King Ollie himself isn't that great. You basically just do what the game tells you. Choose the correct Vellumental, smack. Choose the right Vellumental, smack, and the fight is over. Phase 2 is a lot more funny than it is an actual phase. Olivia folds Bowser into a cool looking origami to combat her brother. Look at this guy, he looks so goofy. Smack the ground behind Bowser to give him an edge in his smack battle, and then we get to phase 3, the giant phase. This is the thing I was talking about that would come into play at the very end of the game. Unscramble the magic circle, turn Olivia into a giant hammer, and boom. This mother has been f***ed. That's not a real phrase, is it? I'm sensing another trademark on our hands. Honestly, this fight is alright. It's not the greatest fight in the world, as I said a moment ago. Would I change anything? 100%, of course. I'd make everything change. The whole f***ing fight. There's 100% a way they could have worked the origami Bowser section into a puzzle circle segment. The final phase is already on one, so it's pretty much perfect as is. King Ollie finds out the text written on him was just wishing him the best of luck becoming a kind king. Then he turns to ash. Olivia uses Ollie's paper to fold the 1,000th grain and wishes for all of her brother's origami to be unfolded, which includes herself. Everything goes back to normal, and Peach gets her first piece of dialogue at the very end. Her and Mario walk through the Origami Festival, and upon reaching the castle made by the creator of both Ollie and Olivia, he can't help but feel sad about Olivia's death. Something about Paper Mario, man. They just kill off so many people and nobody talks about it. Huey f***ing dies. Olivia dies? What's next, his own brother? This guy is the walking embodiment of the Reaper. Everyone who interacts with him just dies. Kirsty probably died off camera, let's be honest. And that, my friends, was an in-depth look at Paper Mario the Origami King. Is this the best modern Paper Mario? Yes, it very much is, without a shadow of a doubt. Everything in this game is almost perfect, in my opinion. Things like the basic-ass toads and no reason for battling are the only things I can think of that really bring the game down for me. The characters are some of the best parts of this game, and feel like they actually mattered in the story. Although we didn't get many original NPCs, we did get characters like Bobby and Olivia, which are some of the best characters in any Mario story ever. I said this a while ago, so I'm not going to repeat myself too much, but I would love to see this game with a TTYD battle system. Add that, and this is my favorite Paper Mario hands down. After the success of the remake, I can't wait to see what other games they decide to make of this franchise. It feels like it's only up from here, and I'm all for it. Don't get your hopes up too much. This is Paper Mario we're talking about here. Another 16 card pileups to GameStop, please. I'd like to thank you for watching today's video. After last week's video, I immediately took it upon myself to play through Origamiking, but this game took me absolutely forever to get through. I'm happy I came back to finish it though. I love the Paper Mario franchise despite its major flaws. All of these games have so much to love from them. Despite the vast majority of players wanting this series to return to its roots of a full turn-based RPG, I think there's some merit in the overall games they've crafted. You will have at least some fun playing these games regardless of how much you dislike it. I just think they shouldn't really go for a turn-based game if they aren't willing to commit to it. This is currently my final video on the Paper Mario franchise, unless I decide to re-release all of them as one video at some point. I am your resident TTYD and Origami King Glazer, signing off. I hope you enjoyed the ride. It sure was a long one. I hope you subscribe if you enjoyed it. I'll see you all very soon. Have a great rest of your week. Bye bye.